This is Luxor. And it gave me a bunch of ideas for our medieval fantasy world, particularly our airships. One of the most important things that we're trying to do with our fantasy world is to try and make it feel real. And so we talk a lot about qualia, which is fancy for what it is like. Luxor was a great place for us to figure out airships because it's a beautiful city and people like to fly over it with balloons. So I hitched a ride on one of these balloons. Here's the top 3 things that we're taking away. So firstly, I noticed that distances from the ground to the air would be lower than we expect because of airplanes. It would also mean that you could see things on the ground relatively well, but not well enough to shoot at it. So you would have to go lower to engage in some sort of combat. If you're going lower, you can also feel like you're moving faster. So there can be 2 states. One is where you were up in the air and it feels like you're drifting, and one where you're on the ground but it feels like you're moving really fast, which is going to be cool for different types of scenes. Secondly, I noticed the silence, but it is definitely something that can either be very calming and relaxing, but on the other hand, it could also be scary. Finally, landing. There was a lot of chatter between the pilots on the heights. There was a lot of shouting between people on the ground, trying to pull in the ropes and coordinating. And I thought that was really cool. I also was really relieved to be back on the ground. People who fly for the first or second time would feel the same way, but if you do it a couple times, it feels special to be up in the air. You could come to really enjoy this the same way that sailors would enjoy being on the sea.